institution building has never been the BJP NDA's strong point. From attacks on institutions to assaults on constitutional functionaries, the nation has seen it all from the BJP. In the honorable sequence of attacks on the Election Commission, to the sacking, the only time in Indian history, of a serving Defence Services Chief, we now have a very serious assault on the independence of the judiciary. Not that it succeeded, but attempt was there. Friends, the mess created by the government on the issue of a judicial appointment has extremely serious ramifications. It sits at the intersection of sacred principles of judicial independence, of vendetta politics, of intolerance of opposing viewpoints, and a grave breach of constitutional norms. There is no doubt, I repeat, no doubt in the nation's mind that the sole and only sin committed by Mr. Subramaniam is his sin to act as amicus curiae in a matter which led to adverse reports or reports about Mr. Modi and Gujarat. All other reasons are a fig leaf of pretenses and excuses. The IB has found nothing against him, and the government's action smacks of nothing except pettiness. Pettiness to the extent, almost hilarious, an alleged swimming pool membership never taken, an alleged tape conversation which in fact lauds and praises his independence, are also being used by the government of the day to undermine judicial independence. Friends, Mr. Subramaniam is not the issue at all. Let's be very clear. The issue is the clear usurpation by the Modi Sarkar of the right to select or refuse to select judges. The Chief Justice of India has used the language of studied moderation in his condemnation of the government's conduct. Remember, the Chief Justice of India is naturally constrained by the compulsions of his office. But clearly we have here a situation where the man with the 56-inch chest and the elephantine memory neither forgets nor forgives. He ignores the elementary fact that any lawyer worth his name cannot refuse to accept a amicus curiae appointment. He is obliged to act as amicus at the instance of the court. Remember, friends, we also now have the cat out of the bag about the motivation for this rejection, because we now have in full public domain the letter written by a senior minister, an extremely senior minister of the present government, to the former Prime Minister, protesting at Mr. Subramaniam's acting as a amicus. Clearly, therefore, the executive office has been used to undermine judicial independence. Clearly, therefore, the government of the day, without giving you any specifics, the law minister has not spoken on it. The government speaks through sources indicate, never officially. Clearly, therefore, the government of the day is acting through leaks, through innuendo, through indirection, through whispers, and trying to spread calumny, forgetting that they are in the process undermining the supreme, one of the highest principles of our constitutional existence, namely the principle of judicial independence. I also have no hesitation in saying that, but for the somewhat hasty act of Mr. Subramaniam withdrawing his candidature, the government would have had more egg on its face than it already has. And perhaps Mr. Subramaniam's hasty withdrawal has saved some embarrassment for the government.
मंत्री है, अपने विभाग का जो काम है वो तो कर ही रहे अच्छी तरीके से, लेकिन जो संगठनात्मक जिम्मेवारियां उनकी